Hi, my name is Aswan, I'm from Carlist, and today we're going to talk about the GR Yaris and a bit about the Vios GR. Over the last day or so, actually, to be fair, yesterday, we went to Sepang with Vios to test the GR Yaris hatchback and the Vios GR. But of course, the main reason we were there is for the GR Yaris. And honestly, there's really no better place than Sepang to experience something like the GR Yaris. Now, let's get into the GR Yaris a bit. It's powered by a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that makes about 272 horses, about 370 Nm of torque. Honestly, people have dynoed it and they found that the numbers are quite right. They don't overquote, which is what some manufacturers do, some German manufacturers do. It's really quite a fantastic package. It comes only with a 6-speed manual. It comes only with all-wheel drive, and in Malaysia we get a slightly higher spec version of it. In fact, we only get one spec of it here, which comes with what would be an optional track pack in other countries. The track pack generally adds a few bits, but the main components of the track pack that make it special are the front and rear Torsen LSDs and slightly bigger brakes. It really is an important thing when it comes to making in a hot hatch special. We started the day with a Gymkhana because what you want to do with a GR Yaris is you want to try the all-wheel drive system, and literally the first thing that we do once we're out of the gate is a donut around Chrome. Sounds simple, but donuts with front-wheel drive cars tend to be a bit of a clumsy affair, especially if you don't have an LSD. It's a lot of wrenching the handbrake and trying to get it around. Can't really do it smoothly. With a rear-wheel drive car, you pitch it in, get it sideways, and you slide around the cone, which is what I do in my Corolla. Not very well. With an all-wheel drive car, things are very different because you can carry a lot of speed while you're doing a donut. You can slide around the cone with very little countersteer, and you can stay completely flat on gas, and the car will just keep going and hook up and carry an immense amount of speed. This trick is actually something that very few cars, in fact I would say none of the cars on our market can do from factory. You know, even if you were to talk about the Subaru WRX STI, which is an amazing car, it can't do this out of factory because it doesn't come with the front and rear LSDs. You actually do have to tweak it a bit before you can get it to do this. The GR Yaris can literally do this out of the box, which is an amazing thing. And of course, you know, as you can see in this footage here, Ivan makes it look incredibly easy. He's won a few rally series in his life. The instructors obviously make it easy because they have a very good understanding of all these things. We couldn't do it. We got about halfway around and kind of backed out because it takes a bit of commitment. If you treat it like a rear-wheel drive car and you start counter steering, it pulls out the slide. If you get on the gas too early or too late, it pushes or it bobs. And but it shows that with a little bit of experience, you could get the hang of it. You could easily do something like this, and this is something you only see in, you know, like high-level sort of rally videos or popular internet videos with certain American drivers can block. Following the Gymkhana, we were given a short break, then we went to the track, which was the main attraction. But given that there were only 3 GR Yarises available, in order to help sort of spread the load with participants, UNW Toyota also gave us a Vios GR to take on track. And the Vios GR isn't as vibrant, it's not as interesting as a GR Yaris. We can admit that. But there is something incredibly fun about driving a slow car on the limit on a track, because the Vios GR is based on your regular Vios. It's got a slightly tweaked CVT transmission. It has 10 virtual ratios instead of, I think, the 6 that it comes with normally. It's got uprated dampers, it's got different wheels and tires, but for the most part, it's pretty much like the Vios that you can buy. and taking it around Sepang seems like it might be a little bit boring, but it's not, especially when the instructor says try and keep up. Instructors operate at a level with a ton of experience, and they're sort of the people that you aspire to catch up to, the people you aspire to drive like, and driving a Vios GR and chasing an instructor is incredibly fun because you spend a lot of time and you focus so much on trying to shave every bit of time that you can. You try and catch up in the corners, you try and catch up, brake as late as you can, and yeah, you're not going anywhere near as fast as performance. You know, you talk about hot hatches, you talk about coupe, like sports coupes and all that. Yeah, you're carrying so much speed, but the fun thing with the Vios GR is you have so much time to decide what you want to do. Like with a Volkswagen Golf R, I love the car, but say you were to take it to something, you turn it into a corner and you've got your trajectory a bit wrong, you've turned in a bit early or late, or you've carried a bit too much speed, you kind of don't really have a choice but to live with the consequences of what you've done. You're carrying so much speed that you can't really change anything you've committed to. Whereas with the Vios GR, you have 6-7 seconds to decide, do I want to hit that curb? If you don't, you can just back off the throttle a bit, tighten the line. You can really have a lot of fun with a slow car in Sepang. I've taken my Myvi there. But, you know, that was sort of a warm-up for us. And we moved on to the GR Yaris, which is an amazing car on track. The all-wheel drive system is incredibly intuitive. The shift feel, the brakes, everything about the car makes it so competent on track in a way that you don't see with many cars. Even high-end German cars don't have this level of comfort when it comes to approaching the track. You will find that something will give way. Either they're a little bit hard to drive, either the brakes are not up to spec, but you'll find this is the case. So one of the things that you'll find with the GR Yaris is that the all-wheel drive system in track mode, it splits 50% front, 50% rear, and many people have differing opinions as to what the best setup is. Some people prefer 35% front, 65% rear. What we really wanted to find out was how does it behave in track, and amazingly the GR Yaris does some stuff that you would not expect. You can get on the power so early coming up corners, and this is something that is very underrated because with a lot of all-wheel drive cars, the belief, or rather what people have experienced in many all-wheel drive cars is that you turn into a corner, if you try and get on the gas quite aggressively quite early, the car will just start understeering wide. It's a bit of a mood killer. But with the GR Yaris, you can really just pitch it into a corner, get on the gas as early as you want, or as early as you dare to, and generally it just hooks up and goes. It's got an amazing torque spread. The engine, it's a 1.6 liter, but it punches so hard. It hooks up, it just goes. The shift feel is great. It's easy to get down the gears, up the gears, especially if you're not good with heel and toe, if you're not good with ref matching, you've got IMT to help you, which is like auto ref match. There are so many things about the GR Yaris that make it just a fantastic track machine. And it's already proven, as you know, earlier in the day we had the Gymkhana sessions, it's proven it can do other stuff. It's a very broad range of skills that most cars don't possess. It's a very broad range of traits that most cars don't possess. And that's why we love the car so much. It lived up to the hype. And when they introduced the GR Yaris in Malaysia, when they announced it, people were saying, this is insane, you're paying 270 grand for a Toyota, for a Yaris. But all 127 units have been sold out. All of them have been sold out. So people have faith in the brand. They've seen what people overseas have said. They've seen what people in other countries have done. And a lot of these people have had to do so on blind faith because they can't even test the car. You go to a showroom, you see the car, but you're not allowed to test it. And they put their money down on it. They've sold out all of the units that they've allocated for at least the first run from Malaysia. And that shows that really there's a lot of faith. If you have put your money down on a GR Yaris, you're not going to be disappointed. There's very little about the car to find fault with. Perhaps the only thing that maybe is not so great is the fact that the rear seats are very cramped, more so than a GT86. But it is a 3-door hatchback. It is a performance car, in a way. It's not likely you'll be carrying people in the back. The boot is reasonably sized. It's a hatchback. The GR Yaris to us is such a special machine because it marks the return of Toyota to motorsports with a commitment, with a chassis that is unique, is designed specifically for this purpose. You don't get that with many other cars. You don't get that nowadays. Homologation specials is the term, and this is one of them. So not only is it something that has purpose behind it, purpose that you don't see with most cars, it's also something that delivers on so many fronts and does it so well that it really makes every other option on the market feel a bit lackluster in a way. We like hot hatches. Of course, there are plenty of options that you can buy, but the GR Yaris just makes it feel as though you've been shortchanged if you were to get anything else at the moment. It just does everything so well. It comes out of the box with such a fantastic setup, with such a fantastic number of components that work so well together, that really you won't be disappointed if you end up. You'll be happy to drive it, and you'll be happy to drive it even every day. The weights are easy, the clutch is easy, the brake is easy, steering wheel is light. It's easy to maneuver around spaces. Really, it's almost a perfect car at its price point as well. Granted, there are more potent machines out there. We're not gonna say that, you know, some mid-engine or rear-engine sports car wouldn't possibly be better at taking Sepang, because we've seen it before. But those cars also wouldn't necessarily be as fun on the Gymkhana course. Those cars wouldn't necessarily be as fun on a back road, because at the end of the day, they're so expensive that you tend to think twice about doing things that may cause either high maintenance bills, repair bills, or, you know, stone chips and stuff like that. The GR Yaris, you take it, you go. You just have fun with it. But yeah, that's it. That's our short experience of the GR Yaris. We wish we could have more. We hope we get the test car so we can share more about it. But that's it for now.